Hello Year 5, happy Monday. Welcome back to Guided Reading with me and Cosmic. Today we are going to read from page 115 to 121, so join me if you do have a physical copy at home. If not, sit back, relax and have a listen as I read you this first chapter, okay? First chapter of the week, I should say. We're not going back in time to the first chapter of the book. Okay, while we are doing that, have a think about the vocabulary that you are hearing or reading. What words have jumped out at you today? Let's have a look. In China, you idiot! Chapter title. We have reached our destination, said Dr. Drax. Welcome to Infinity Park. It's too dark now to see it properly, and you'll be too tired to appreciate it. A thing like a minibus with caterpillar tracks came to take us to our accommodation. I remember looking out of the window, but there was nothing to see, just the odd campfire and every now and then a car. We'd been driving for about 10 minutes when the minibus thing stopped suddenly, and Dr. Drax asked us to look out of the windows on the left side of the bus. At first there was nothing but darkness, but then suddenly something like a massive door had opened. There was a building. It looked like a big red cliff lit by banks and banks of spotlights. It was bigger than the biggest skyscraper you've ever seen, and had massive Chinese letters painted down the side. What is it? Said, well, everyone really. That, said Dr. Drax, is the Possibility Building. But what's inside? Inside there is our main attraction. Inside there is the rocket. But what is the rocket? What kind of ride is it? What's it like? What's it like? It's not like anything. It's unique. It's the biggest thrill ride in the history of the world. That's all. I can't describe it because it's indescribable. When I was being a grown-up in Liverpool, I got free yogurt. In China, I got my own house. The minibus thing dropped us off at a little cluster of bungalows with lawns and streetlights and traffic islands, like a housing estate. A whole bungalow all to ourselves, I said to Florida. Isn't this brilliant? Basically, you've kidnapped me and taken me to a desert. A desert in China? I suppose, but come on, apart from the fact that it's in China, what do you think? I mean, look at this house. There's nothing apart from being in China, Liam. Being in China is major. The house was mostly one big open room with a kitcheny bit at one end and two huge couches at the other, and a weird kind of little garden full of cacti in between. And, said Florida, looking all around it, it's got no telly. Well, maybe we could ask for a telly. Anyway, it's probably good that we haven't got one because we're supposed to get up early and Florida had found a little panel of buttons in the arm of the couch. When she touched one, the whole living room turned blue and started to hum. And then a picture appeared with sound. The television was an entire wall of the living room. Now this, said Florida, is good. We both flopped onto the couch. We were hypnotized. It was amazing, even when it was only showing farming news in Cantonese. But after a bit of channel flicking, we found an American channel that was showing Celebrity Seance, where living celebrities tried to contact the spirits of the dead celebrities. And Florida looked like she'd gone to heaven. Look, she yelled, there's Lindsay! Ah! Lindsay was the presenter, but Florida acted like Lindsay was her mum, her sister, her cat, and her favourite blanket all rolled into one. I said, as soon as this finishes, lights out and bed. Big day tomorrow. Liam, stop talking like a grown-up. There's no grown-up here. That's the only good thing about it. But I'm supposed to be your dad. That's the whole point. I've got to act the role of your dad, so I'm getting into character, like Lisa said. If you're going to be a dad, be like my dad, not like yours. Get me presents and ice cream. Don't sit there telling me about history and stuff. Do you know what time it is? Isn't it a bit late for ice cream? It would be if you were a real dad, but you're not. You're a kid. I'm a kid. We can do what we want. If we want ice cream for supper, we can have ice cream for supper. And apparently we did want ice cream for supper. Luckily, there were buckets of ice cream, including Chocopocalypse flavour in the freezer. Florida took it back to the couch and sat there in front of the telly. Every few seconds she'd poke her spoon in it, And if we want to watch the telly all night, she said, we can. Yeah, but, no, not yeah, but, just yeah. While she was busy with the ice cream, I sneaked another look at Talk to Your Teen and found a bit about how to lay down ground rules and make sure your teen has barriers. I was just going to set a few barriers in place when Florida yelled, Liam, come and have a look at this. She'd discovered that you could send pictures from her Drax phone to the big screen. She made me a video of her doing an acceptance speech and then project it onto the wall. I want to thank Mum and especially my dad. I hope you're proud of your little princess now, she said, and I hope together we can end global warming and poverty and stuff. It looked wobbly but convincing on the big screen. I said, what exactly are you accepting? An award. For what? For being famous? I went to get a drink out of the fridge and found some little bottles of water shaped like rockets with fins and a pointy bit at the top. They were perfect. They were the perfect weapon for a water fight. I stuffed 3 in each pocket, tiptoed back to the living room and squirted Florida. She shrieked and ran after me. I threw her a bottle just to make it fair, and we had this excellent water fight all over the house. I hid behind the couch, hoping to ambush her. I must have fallen asleep there, because the next thing I knew, the phone was ringing. This is your alarm call, it said. Please join your party in the car park of the Possibility Building at 8 a.m. I picked my way through the discarded ice cream buckets and over the soaking wet floors, and eventually found Florida curled up asleep in the cupboard with the cleaning stuff. I woke her up, she wasn't happy, and went to get changed. I emptied my bag onto my bed so I could sort everything out. There were some Warcraft notes, an unexpected envelope which turned out to contain a photograph of me, Mum and Dad on my first communion day. Mum must have sneaked it in there. Dad's broken St. Christopher statue was at the bottom of the bag too. He must have sneaked that in too. He'd obviously been worried about me going to the Lake District on my own. I brought it with me into space. It's standing on top of the multifunctional display, just like it used to stand on the dashboard of his taxi. If my dad could see it now, he'd be really worried. Okay, what do we think about that chapter? It feels like Florida might have forgiven Liam for tricking her into going to China, because she seemed perfectly happy to hang around in the really cool bungalow that they found themselves in. Okay, on the website is your extract today. It's this page here. I want you to do some vocabulary Victor for me. What words are you unsure of the meaning? And can you analyse them? So picking a word that you're not sure or a phrase that you're not sure what it means, underlining it, and then using your vocab Victor sentence stem to help you out. I'm not sure what means, but I think it might mean And then doing a little bit of word classification. Can you find some words, some nouns, adjectives, verbs, etc. And then your final task is, the sentence says so it might mean. Now, if I was going to do this one, I think I'd probably do this sentence here. I was just going to set a few barriers in place when Florida yelled. What do you think Liam means when he was going to set some barriers in place? Do you think he was talking about actual barriers? Or do you think he was talking about metaphorical barriers? Have a think about that sentence. That's the sentence I'd use for my deep analysis of this last one. I hope you have a fantastic Monday, guys, and Mrs. Elmore will be back with you tomorrow to be doing the home learning, and I will be in school with the bubble. But feel free to carry on emailing me what you get up to throughout the week. Have a wonderful Monday. Bye, guys.